The morning sun glinted off the polished glass of AstraTech Headquarters, a tower so tall it pierced the clouds like a spear. The company was known for innovation. Its AI systems powered hospitals, transportation, and some of the most advanced digital assistants in the world. But inside this gleaming monument to progress, some people still clung to the oldest prejudice of all, underestimating those who looked different. And today, that mistake was going to cost someone everything. The automatic doors parted with a soft hiss as Lena Vale rolled into the lobby. Her wheelchair echoed softly across the marble floor, the sound delicate yet steady. She was small, quiet, and dressed modestly. A soft gray sweater, plain black slacks, hair tied back in a messy but purposeful knot. Her glasses slid down the bridge of her nose as she maneuvered her chair with practiced ease. Every movement was calm, every breath measured. But her eyes carried storms and galaxies. Because Lena wasn't just an employee. She was the mind behind AstraTech's revolutionary AI system. Nexa, the software currently being praised as one of the greatest technological innovations of the century. A system almost no one knew she built, entirely from scratch. But she didn't care for praise, or fame, or recognition. All she wanted was to walk, quietly, peacefully, through her workplace without being treated like she was broken. But today was not that day. A loud, mocking voice cut through the lobby. "Oh look, beep beep. Wide load coming through." A few employees winced. Not again. Brian Dell, mid-level manager with more ego than skill, strutted toward Lena while carrying a steaming cup of coffee from the cafe. His tie was crooked, his hair too gelled, and his expression pure arrogance. He stopped directly in front of her, blocking her path. Lena attempted to move around him. Brian stepped in front of her again. "Oh, come on," he said loudly, making sure everyone heard. "You should really call ahead, you know. Some of us don't want to get run over." Lena's hands tightened slightly on the wheels. "Please step aside, Brian." He grinned. "Or what? You'll chase me?" A few shocked gasps echoed. Lena swallowed the hurt like she had done 1,000 times. "Just move." "Maybe I will," Brian said, leaning down to her eye level, "after you answer one thing." She stared back, refusing to look away. "Why does someone like you even work in a tech company? This place is fast, intense. You know," he tapped the side of his head mockingly. "You need to be sharp. Not slow." Lena felt something inside her tremble. Not weakness, not fear, but the quiet internal click of a system reaching its limit. "Excuse me," she said again. Brian rolled his eyes dramatically. Fine, go ahead. Just try not to scratch anything on the way." He took a sip of his coffee, smirking, and stepped directly in front of her again. Oops. Coffee splashed across her sweater. The entire lobby froze. Lena stared down at the dripping fabric. Her breathing stilled. Her heartbeat slowed. People watched with wide eyes, some shaking their heads, some too afraid to intervene. Brian fake gasped. "Oh no. I'm so sorry. Did the coffee burn your wheels?" Laughter, cruel, sharp. Two security guards exchanged uncomfortable glances. But no one stepped in. No one stopped him. Lena felt a coldness settle in her chest. "I'll clean this later," she muttered softly, turning her chair toward the elevator. Brian raised his voice for one final jab. "Or maybe you can ask your little AI thing to clean it for you. That's what you do, right? Press buttons all day." Lena paused. For a moment, she said nothing. Then, without turning around, she whispered, "Be careful who you mock, Brian. You never know who controls your world." Brian laughed dismissively as she disappeared into the elevator. He had no idea how literal her words were. Not yet. 2 floors up, Lena entered the executive boardroom where the weekly systems review was being held. A group of VPs sat across the long glass table. Dozens of screens displayed lines of code, performance metrics, and system alerts. Brian was already there. He glanced at her wheelchair, gave a smug smirk, and leaned back casually in his chair. Lena ignored him completely. She rolled to her workstation at the end of the table, plugged in her device, and began reviewing the morning's data. Something was wrong. A system alert blazed across her screen. Critical error, or compromised. Unauthorized access detected. The executives panicked. "What is this?" one VP shouted. "Is the system going down? Who accessed the core?" Brian raised his hand smugly. "I think it was just a glitch. Someone probably pressed the wrong thing." A VP glared. "Based on the log, someone from your department tampered with the security override." Brian stiffened. "What? No, I didn't." Lena cleared her throat softly. The room quieted. "Nexa was accessed this morning at 9:41 a.m., she said calmly. "And the access signature shows the user ID." She swiped her fingers across the tablet. The screen changed. A name appeared in bold. "User access, Brian Dell. Unauthorized attempt, failed." The room went silent. Brian's mouth fell open. I didn't try to break anything." Lena turned to him. Her voice was soft. Too soft. "You tried to access the master command panel while standing in the lobby." His face turned pale. "That's impossible. I was just talking to..." He stopped. Realizing what he'd admitted, the executives stared. "You tried to access the system from your personal device?" One VP asked, horrified. Brian stammered. "I didn't know it would activate anything. I just wanted to see what all the hype was about." Lena interrupted. "Your attempt triggered a defensive lockdown." She tapped again. Screens flickered. Nexus system map appeared, every node, connection, and data flow glowing in luminous blue. "See this," she said, pointing. "This is the neural logic grid I built. The system is designed to detect human intent." "You built it?" a VP whispered. Lena didn't look away from Brian. "Yes." Brian blinked. "Wait, you built Nexa? The entire thing? That's impossible." She slid her glasses up her nose. "It wasn't impossible. Just difficult." The executives stared at her like they were seeing her for the first time. Brian, however, suddenly understood the gravity of his mistake. His hands began to shake. The room fell into a strange, reverent silence. "Ms. Vale," the chief technology officer said slowly, "you mean to tell us that you are the architect behind the AI that runs our entire corporation?" Lena nodded. "Nexa was my doctoral research project, refined over 7 years. AstraTech bought the prototype, and I joined to finish it." Brian's voice cracked. But you're just an operator." Lena tilted her head slightly. "That's what you assumed. Not what I am." She tapped another icon. Nexa's voice, calm and resonant, filled the room. Primary architect Lena Vale authenticated. A ripple of awe moved through the executives. Brian's jaw trembled. You're the genius behind all this?" She looked at him with quiet, steady eyes. "Yes." "And you?" His voice cracked. "You let me talk to you like that?" Her expression didn't change. "You didn't let me talk. You talked over me." The CTO stepped forward. "Ms. Vale, why didn't you tell us sooner?" Lena closed her laptop gently. "Because genius doesn't need a stage. It needs space." A VP spoke quietly. "And your disability never interfered?" Lena looked at him sharply. My disability limits my walking. It does not limit my mind. Then she turned to Brian. You should remember that. He swallowed hard, shaking. The board members exchanged angry glances. Brian was seconds away from losing everything. But Lena wasn't finished. Nexa spoke again. Unauthorized access included attempts to alter primary code architecture. Severity, high risk. The CTO's face darkened. You tried to access the core AI engine? Do you have any idea how disastrous that could have been? Brian stumbled over his words. I swear I wasn't trying to sabotage anything. I just wanted to see what the AI looked like on the inside. Lena tapped the table. Let's show them. Screens lit up again. A security feed appeared, lobby footage from 9:41 a.m. Brian standing in front of her, laughing, mocking her, holding his phone behind his back, scanning the restricted firewall, trying to breach the system, while pretending to stumble and spill coffee on her. The executives erupted. You attempted an illegal breach. You harassed a colleague. You endangered the entire company. Brian collapsed into his chair. I'm sorry, I didn't think. Lena finally faced him fully. That was the problem, Brian. Security entered the boardroom. Brian stood, panicked. You can't fire me. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know she was. He gestured helplessly at Lena. What? Brilliant, disabled, quiet? All of the above. He looked at her. I didn't know. Lena took a deep breath. Her voice was steady. That's because you didn't want to know. Security took his arms gently. Brian looked around desperately, at the executives, at the CTO, at anyone who might defend him. No one did. For the first time in years, he looked small, afraid, human. Lena watched silently. Not out of cruelty, but because justice wasn't loud or violent. Justice was quiet. Like her. After Brian was escorted out, the CTO approached Lena slowly. Ms. Vale, please accept our apologies. On behalf of the entire company. She nodded once. Thank you. We'd like to discuss a promotion, he said gently. One that reflects your true position. Your true brilliance. Lena looked at the glowing Nexus system map. Her creation. Her voice softened. I didn't build Nexa for power, she said. I built it to help people. The CTO nodded. We know. And that's why you deserve the authority to guide its future. Lena thought for a moment, then finally smiled. I'd like that. As Lena rolled out of the elevator hours later, dozens of employees stood waiting. Not out of pity, but out of respect. The receptionist who had witnessed the morning incident whispered, Ms. Vale, we're so sorry for what happened. Lena smiled gently. It's all right. Another employee stepped forward. You're the reason AstraTech exists. You saved us. Lena shook her head. No, I just built a system. You all helped make it work. The employees looked at her with admiration. Not embarrassment. Not discomfort. Admiration. Then someone stepped closer, a shy young intern. Ms. Vale? Can I ask, how did you stay so calm? With everything he said to you? Lena looked around the lobby, where sunlight now reflected warmly off the marble floor. Because people like Brian don't define who we are, she said softly. They only expose who they are. She wheeled forward. And sometimes, exposing the truth is all the justice we need. The crowd parted for her. Not because she couldn't move through it, but because she deserved space, respect, honor, a path worthy of the woman who changed everything. As Lena moved toward the exit, Nexa's voice echoed faintly from her tablet. Good work today, architect. Lena smiled. Justice had spoken. Quietly. Powerfully. Perfectly.